Pittsburgh Steelers are back in the primetime spotlight in Week 13 as they go on the road for a Monday Night Football matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. After struggling with the Packers, the Steelers are hoping for a better effort in this AFC North rivalry game. This will be the 95th regular season meeting between these two teams, and Pittsburgh holds a sizable 59-35 edge and has won both playoff meetings. Dating back to the January 2006 matchup, Pittsburgh is 19-6 straight up, but they'll have to win this one by more than 5 points in order to cover the number. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 9-2 straight up and 6-5 against the spread on the year. It has not been the prettiest 9-2 as the offense has struggled, but the defense has been among the NFL's best. Pittsburgh has won 6 straight, but has only covered in 4 of those wins. Amazingly, if this line holds, it will be only the 4th biggest road favorite role for the Steelers this season. They haven't covered in any of the other 3 games. Just imagine what the Steelers would look like if their offense was on par with the one that we saw a few seasons ago. The Steelers are 9-2 and currently have home field throughout the AFC playoffs based on the strength of the victory over the Patriots. This is a Pittsburgh offense that has managed 5.6 yards per play, which is tied for 9th and has been progressively getting better. The Steelers have gained at least 420 yards in 3 of their last 5 games, and won in spite of a -3 turnover margin against the Packers. Ben Roethlisberger just doesn't look like the same guy, and it has hurt the team in every facet on offense. Roethlisberger has the best safety net in the NFL in Antonio Brown, and still has thrown 12 interceptions against 20 touchdown passes. For the 3rd straight season, Roethlisberger's adjusted net yards per pass attempt is down, and his completion percentage is the lowest since the 2010 season. Antonio Brown has 80 catches for 1,195 yards and 20 plays of 20 or more yards, and he has truly bailed out this offense. Le'Veon Bell has less than 4 yards per carry, and Juju Smith-Schuster is just now starting to come into his own, with 33 catches for 568 yards and 5 touchdowns. The Steelers are getting there, but there have to be concerns about Roethlisberger as the playoffs are approaching. The Pittsburgh defense has been outstanding. Opponents have only converted 34.5% of their 3rd down attempts, which ranks 8th, and the Steelers are one of 8 teams holding the opposition to less than 5 yards per play. The on-the-fly rebuild to inject young talent like Ryan Shazier, Bud Dupree, TJ Watt, and Artie Burns into the lineup has gone extremely well. Vince Williams and Cameron Hayward are having career years in the sack department. Only 4 teams rank better in adjusted net yards per pass attempt against, so the Steelers are limiting big plays, creating negative plays, and are conquering what is a quarterback-driven league. Only Jacksonville has more sacks this season. The Steelers have allowed 4 yards per carry. Chicago did run for 222 yards in Week 3, and Jacksonville ran for 231 in Week 5. Outside of that, the Steelers haven't allowed more than 91 rushing yards in a game. The Cincinnati Bengals are 5-6 straight up and 6-5 against the spread this season. It feels really surprising for the Bengals to be sitting at 5-6 after their 0-3 start, but the team has done a good job going 5-3 since then by taking advantage of a couple of weak opponents in the last 2 games. There are a lot of bad teams in the NFL because there are a lot of bad offenses. If the Bengals didn't have the defense that they do, this would not be a team in playoff contention in a very weak AFC. The Bengals are one of 10 teams averaging less than 5 yards per play. Cincinnati's 4.9 yards per play is tied for 23rd in the league, and the problems on the ground are the biggest culprits. The Bengals are in the middle of the pack in adjusted net yards per pass attempt, and have done an okay job of protecting Andy Dalton, but only Arizona has fewer yards per carry than Cincinnati. Putting the game on Dalton's shoulders generally is not a good strategy. Dalton has a 62% completion rate with an 18-8 touchdown interception ratio, so he has been decent, especially with an OC change and some injuries, but he's averaging less than 200 yards per game. A big problem for the Bengals is that they have run 41 fewer plays than any other NFL team, and every team entered this week with 11 games played. If you don't have the ball, you can't score points. The Bengals defense has played extremely well this season. Cincinnati has a 58.4% completion rate against, which ranks 5th. The Bengals haven't forced enough turnovers to help out the offense with some short fields, but this defense is tied for third in yards per play allowed with just 4.8 and quietly has 33 sacks. Cincinnati's rush defense is just outside of the top 10. Cincinnati's third down defense ranks 4th in the NFL at 33.6%, and this unit is 5th in percentage of drives ending in points. Once again, this is a situation where a lackluster offense has capped the ceiling for the team. We've got a little higher of a total in this game than it deserves with the expectation of a primetime over, and the public action is on that side of the ball. But this feels like one of those throwback AFC North games. These two teams know each other very well, and familiarity breeds unders, and unders breed covers for the underdogs. If you can catch a +6, that feels like a good grab with a Bengals team that is very much in the thick of the AFC playoff race, which features only 7 teams on the plus side of 500. Our pick and prediction, Cincinnati Bengals at +5. For our pick and prediction on this game and every other game this week, and a wealth of free stats and information, check out bangthebook.com.